had a mess the other day. Okay. Let's see. Peggy Velasco.
Here.
Richard Niederberg. Richard?
He's there.
He's here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's ready now.
And Brandon Marino?
Here.
Barry Johnson?
Here.
Mary Mallory? Mary here? Not yet. Let's see. And Chief Joseph? Patty Kirby? And Scott Mandel.
Present.
Thank you.
How about me?
Yes, Richard, I called you out. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm
Yes, I did call for you. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, without objection, will we pass the October minutes? Yeah. Any objections? Okay, thank you. And then update by the committee vice chair and chair. Abby, do you want to go first?
I don't really have an update. I have a presentation, so I don't.
Oh,
know
okay.
if you're happy with
Yeah.
the presentation. So
For that's on the agenda. Yeah. Okay.
I have an item.
Okay. I think we've been keeping in touch by email about Luminaria, so we'll just continue that conversation when we get to it.
Luminaria.
Hello?
Luminaria.
Luminaria. Thank you. Okay, so then let's move on to number 4, public and committee comments and possible clarifications on non-agenda items within the committee's jurisdiction. Any new business? Any clarifications? Any comments from the public on non-agenda issues? I don't see any hands. I think we're good. Okay. So then we're going to put number 7 in front of number 5 because we have special guests tonight. Thank you. Number 7 is the discussion of logistics and possible motion for Luminaria 2022. And committee members involved in this are Abby, Scott, Richard, Mary, and me, and Brandon. So, sorry, I didn't have you on the agenda. So, who wants to go first? Scott? Did Scott leave?
Happy that Brandon came up with a very nice.
I am back. You should probably hear from Barry and Richard first.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Brandon, your graphics look good. Yeah. So go ahead, Richard.
I can answer any questions anybody has. I'm very happy that we going to have the tickets to hand out. Somebody has to hand them out at the farmers market, you know, as if they were very valuable tickets. They're used for parking.
Oh, parking tickets. Oh, okay. We hand the tickets out, the parking tickets out?
Well, you know, we have Rec and Parks on. I would just introduce, you know, the date and what it is that we would like from them as far as assistance and what they need from us as far as if we have all the approvals in. That would be my suggestion. Barry? Is Barry still on?
Yeah, are you saying the person from Rec and Parks that's on with us?
Yes. So
okay.
I think it'd be really good to go through that stuff first about access and tables and chairs and keys, and if we have all necessary permits and what's needed from us and what we would like to ask of them, things like that.
Great.
Or on that point from the Campo, your visitor is the president of the Historical Association that works with Rec and Parks. and we own the tables and chairs, and you're free to use them. But I'm not with Rec and Parks. The Miranda McCord is your main contact, and I don't have many other answers other than welcome to our facility. Enjoy it.
Great.
As we had for 10 years in a row.
Agreed. It's a great event.
Okay. I've been in contact numerous times with Metro because they
for the president of the Historical Association, what is your name?
My name is David McAlexander.
Oh, thank
if you knew Duke, Duke Perrin, his Parkinson's is advanced enough, he stepped aside. And Richard Bogie extends his greetings. If you've worked with Richard in the past, he's our outgoing vice president. So my name is David McAlexander, the incoming president of the organization.
Thank you so much, David.
I do have
and I'll also need to get off pretty soon if you don't have any action items for me. I just wanted to say, yes, we'll give you the keys to borrow the chairs and do all that. And we'll probably have someone there to help just make sure they go back into the facility and get all locked up.
Great. And are you in touch with Richard for that?
Indeed.
On December 3rd? Okay, great. Thank you.
And do we have a time for arriving on Saturday, December 3rd?
So that there's a new parks facilities director named Miranda McCord, who works there Thursday and Friday mornings. We'll be giving her the key, and she'll actually be the one letting you in and doing all the direct liaison with you.
Great. Okay, cool.
And she's on our Zoom meeting tonight.
I see her.
In case you can't see the screen.
Wonderful. Welcome, Miranda.
Hi. So yeah, hi, I'm the new facility director over at Campo de Cahuenga. I was put there back in 2020, but then, the pandemic happened. So I was moved from there and I just came back as of May. So I've been there since May, but I've been actually on site at Campo since maybe for like about a month now, doing those Thursdays and Fridays. We kind of have had sort of like a soft opening for now. But yeah, I'm available to be there at your event. I do have it on my calendar. So likely just let me know the times and I can make sure that I open up and close up. Right now it's just me. I don't have any other staff. I'm actually doing interviews for staffing tomorrow because I need, an extra person there. And for Sunday. So pretty much I just need the information of when you'll be in, when you plan to be out, and on both days. And as far as permitting, of course, you wouldn't pay for any permits, but I would have to go through having you guys fill out the permits, for the use of those 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, Kim might have already done so. I think she did.
Our treasurer may have already submitted those forms.
Okay.
So I could forward those to you if you want to email me.
Only permits we don't have are parking at Metro. And I've been talking to these people, or me emailing about every day to get it. I know we have to pay for insurance, and we're budgeting. People in council to take care of the location of parking, which is going to be in the toe of the parking lot, which is most northern.
Sorry, Richard, you keep cutting out, so we're only getting part of what you're saying.
I'm cutting out. I hope I'm not cutting out. And what I'm saying is that not pay for the insurance yet. As soon as they give us the information, we'll pay for the insurance. We're okay to be there. It's just that. And so we'll pay it as soon as they actually, Metro says, pay it.
Okay.
So Richard, let's
Yes.
not talk about anything having to do with Metro and their parking lot as long as we have Miranda and the president on. We don't need, they are not involved with Metro, so let's not even talk about it as long as they are with us. Let's get on to the Campo property. On
Right.
Saturday, we probably need to arrive at 10 a.m. and be there till about 3. So 10 to 3 on Saturday. On Sunday, I would say we would probably arrive at 11 a.m. and our departure would be between 7:30 and 8.
Okay.
The event
Thank you.
ends at 7.
Wonderful. Thank you, Barry.
I believe we're going to get all the cleaning facilities, all the stuff as we always do every year. The only thing is, where do you stash the toilet paper and paper towels so I can reload?
We'll find those probably on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Very quickly,
Uh-huh.
the high school kids, are they setting up on Saturday or are they only for Sunday? Harvard Westlake.
Saturday.
They're setting up.
Supposed
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
They can't do it all.
I believe they're only for Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have their own
Sounds
supervisor who's a staff in the school.
Okay.
Is
So-
Campo
so
going to need a list?
Richard,
Is Campo going to need
are
a
we
list of
all-
everybody that's going to be available on Saturday? Is Campo going to need a list of people, or just people show up and say we're here to set up the Luminaria
People
event?
just show up. We
Okay.
know who they
Just
are.
show up.
We're responsible for
The
them.
Harvard Westlake people are the
Okay.
they're
Barry, do you have any?
worker.
Okay. Barry or Scott, do you have any more questions for
Yeah,
Miranda?
Richard, are you all set as far as the paperwork with the Campo and the fact that, you know, you don't have to be given keys because Miranda's going to be there to let us in both days?
Okay. Because Duke has given me keys before, so but it's okay. It's gonna be somebody be there, all the better.
Do we have Radford Studio trucks available? I heard that once before that somebody's going to lend us a truck from Radford Studios to deliver everything from Radford to Campo. Is that correct?
Scott and I are going to discuss that with Katie and find out if it's a yes or no. And if it isn't, we will rent, which we did do in 2019.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Barry and Scott.
Renting is easy, it's a gas.
We probably will get the truck because Michael Klausman is back on the lot, and he was gone in 2019. So that's one of the reasons we didn't get it.
I have a question.
So,
Miranda has a question.
Yes, in the past, did you guys have a city maintenance person there throughout your whole event, like taking out the trash, emptying trash cans, that kind of thing?
No,
we didn't.
You didn't.
No.
Okay, I just want to see because if I could ask if that's something that you usually have, but if you don't think you need that, like someone to constantly, like I don't know how many people you're expecting. So yeah, I just want to check and ask that if that's something you've had.
It would sure be nice because we ended up filling, you know, all the trash cans and we were moving them around, and also having somebody there to do that and also check on the bathrooms would be great because they run out of paper and they get paper on the floor and stuff like that. So it would be great if you can.
Okay, let me see how we can go about doing that. Of course, it is after hours usually, but I'm just wondering if that's something you guys had in the past. That way I could ask about that. So, okay.
I got a question really quick. Do you guys have recycling bins over there? It seems that LA Parks and other facilities, they don't have recycling bins, and the trash cans fill up very quickly with stuff that really should be going in the blue bins.
Right.
Are there any over there?
No, there's no, they're just regular trash cans there. And actually, when you say that, the other facilities I've worked at, we don't have separate trash cans for the recycling. So that's something that we could, you know, I'd probably have to do on our own, ask for a separate can for that. Yeah.
Okay. So we had a concern about rain, but I thought that if there's rain, it's okay.
Well, we have done 2 out of 9 with some rain, and we do have we have our own canopies that we can set up outside.
Okay.
So
And doormats and runners.
Okay. Okay, so rain's not an issue. Okay, great.
Well, we say that now, and we're in a drought, and then that day we'll get 10 inches of rain, you know?
I hope not.
Yeah, remember.
And then it won't
September?
rain for another 2 years, you know, after that day. I swear to you.
So
Remember September? It was not supposed to rain, and all of a sudden it poured.
yeah. So somebody said something about tables. Do we know how many we need and how many are available?
The only cables. They're
Pardon?
green and they come in a big container. Over the years, we've collected all the cables and adapters that I think we're going to need.
You bring
Even
the
though-
tables?
No,
No, cable. I thought
the
you said
tables
cable.
are at the campo,
Okay.
correct?
And how many do we need, do you think? We need them for the kids, right? And we need them for...
We normally use the ones that are already in the museum for the kids because we buy tablecloths so they don't mess up the tables.
Okay.
We learned that a long time ago.
Okay. Any other concerns?
So Miranda, that you've got the access to the tables and chairs, or was that the president who was with us before? Okay. We won't need that many tables, but we will need, you know, probably between 50 and 100 chairs
Oh, okay.
that we set up outside.
Yeah, I'll ask him because as far as I know, I'd have to see if I have that key. I don't have a lot of keys, but they have the key since it belongs to them. So if he was here, I'd ask him, but I can always ask him and see about how many tables and how many chairs are in that storage unit.
That's a lot of chairs.
And I think I just heard him say before he got off the phone, he was offering us the use of the tables and chairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So,
So
we'll find out
yeah,
how
and
many.
if none of them are going to be there on that Saturday, then it would be great if you had that key.
Of course, yeah. How many tables do you think you'll need? Because I know 50 to 100 chairs, but about how many tables so I can make sure?
Not
that
that many.
8, yeah.
Really,
Five,
maybe
maybe?
Okay.
five or six.
Yeah,
Okay.
6.
Normally we need two
As you
for
know,
the
there are picnic tables already outside, like
very heavy.
those heavy picnic tables outside the doors. Yeah, and we set a lot of our stuff on those as
Okay.
well.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Make sure you have a key to the side door that's got the electrical stuff in it.
The electrical
The
box?
side door, yeah, the on the north face, I'm sorry, the south face of the campo, there's a door that opens up where we, and it's a good place.
I'm not sure what that is. What is?
Richard,
Yes.
Richard, really quickly, let me ask you something. Do you have a layout on how everything's going to go, like in the past, where the stage is, where the sound system's going to be for Miranda, so she can see the layout of how we're going to set everything up? Do you have something from the past?
I can
I
draw
think that'd help her
something
greatly, I
basic.
think, if she knew where we're going to set everything up.
If
If you have something from like 2019 or 2018.
We have pictures too. We have
Okay.
pictures.
It's
Yeah.
basically
Mhm.
all set up under the overhang.
Yeah.
Yep.
The musicians are under the overhang. And then the children are inside with tables, right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, the children are inside. Yeah,
Yeah.
if they want to be.
Yeah. Okay. Seems pretty simple. And then we're making hot chocolate and cider in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, berry is, yeah.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic cider, thank you.
And the food will be pretty much cookies.
Okay.
And then there's a selfie station with costumes, and that's outside, probably.
Outside, yes.
And
It's
then-
so they can take pictures and have all the lights in the background.
The lights in the background. Okay. And then there's a performance, a reenactment of the historical figures And that is
No.
also outside?
No.
No.
That's done by the Campo historical folks in January on the actual anniversary. It's a separate event.
Oh, this is just like a reading or something. Richard said.
Yeah.
They do a reenactment in January. That's not what we're doing.
It's not a reenactment. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just,
I know you're going to come with a vignette, and I've been told
vignette. Okay.
Chief Joseph is going to give the Native American side of it, which I always love, and we'll go from there. So it's not too
okay.
Age. And in the background, we have the flags.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us, Miranda? I think.
I'm writing down your name, so I'll probably reach out to, I think it would be Richard, regarding kind of what's already been sent out. And then I'm going to check with my supervisors to see if we need anything else. The layout would be perfect. That way, in the past at other facilities I've been at, when we have like larger events, usually the layout has to be given to like the fire department. Do you guys do that? Yeah, probably.
We can.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna see. I'm just gonna check and see. It's been a while since I've done or been at a big event. So I'm just gonna see what I need, and then I'll reach out via email to you.
We don't have bounce houses or anything like.
Yeah. Okay. But no, I think that's it. I think I have an idea of what it is, which is sounds like it's a really cool event. I heard it's really really pretty. But I think I got everything I need. And if I have any questions, I can always reach out to.
And we do.
We're trying to get our councilman there, council member Krikorian. So hopefully he'll be there.
Great.
Thank you, Miranda. I appreciate
do you have any questions for me?
Tonight.
Yeah, make sure the sprinklers are on.
Okay.
We have to sit up.
The sprinklers are on?
Sometimes the grass has got to be watered. I want to make sure they're off that day.
Oh, no, off. Okay.
Off, yeah. No, that's smart, because sometimes they're timed, in the evening. So I will check that. That's a good one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Is the fountain running now?
Yes, it is. And there's fish in there too. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You really don't deal with the fountain, thank you. The fish can live.
And what are the hours now?
Right now, it's just Thursday and Friday from 10 to 2. So I'm there on those days if you ever want to just stop by. And, if you guys want to look and see how you're going to set up or anything, I'll be there Thursdays and Fridays from 10 to 2.
Oh,
you have the key to the back gate and the metro.
Yes.
Oh, and Miranda, in about 2 weeks, we're going to put up banners on the outside. We usually do one on the back, one in the front, and one on the side by Metro. So, but I'm going to try and stop by on a Thursday and Friday and see you anyway, and then I can also show you where we would set up stuff under the overhang.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, just if you see those 3 banners, you'll know, because it's saying that the event is on Sunday, December 4th.
Okay. Don't move the concrete tables; they're pretty heavy.
Right.
Okay.
Question: do you still have the clothing racks outside the women's bathroom?
There's no. I don't think there's a rack in there. I don't think so. I don't think I saw
outside in the vestibule area.
Probably not.
No, I don't think I saw racks.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, Miranda, you're welcome to stay as we continue our business.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to, read a book or something.
Richard, I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now that we could talk about Metro without Barry tearing my head off, the parking passes, the parking pass pictures you sent me today. Does Metro give us a code or anything we put on the parking passes to make them official? Or do you just give them a copy of what it looks like so they know? Or
that's exactly right. We give them a copy of what we know, and they respect that. all it is, it avoids having the people pay the $3. You have the regular parking passes, you know, and on the back you've got a map, you know, and of course people park in the very.
Let me. I can share screen here. Let me show you what
they put it on their dashboard.
That's
reality,
what it looked. Yeah.
There is absolutely no enforcement in that parking lot.
Okay.
You could park there for days with nothing, and you'd never be ticketed. They don't even look. They don't even check to see if you paid. Believe me.
We need something to give them.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, right? Yeah.
So like that's kind of the idea. That's kind of the design I came up with. Yeah, there'll be a map on the other side. I'll go to Google Maps and do something.
Cool.
Okay.
But,
if you could look at the parking pass I gave you already, you can make it any way you like. But people park in the very toe of the parking lot. So the little map.
Yeah.
So a really great toe. But anyway, they park extremely there. Of course, the handicap spaces stay as they always are. The green spaces are fine also because they don't work on Sunday.
Richard, when somebody parks, they can decide for themselves. We don't need to discuss the various parking spaces there right now. But does Brandon have the back side of that? And if he doesn't, can you send it to him?
No, not, he said, I have the emails that he sent me. I'll find a map online that doesn't have like shops and stores dotted everywhere. And I will, find some just nondescript map and I'll make it, tomorrow. It's no big deal. It'll take me no time.
Take it off Google Maps if you want to.
Probably. I just have to make sure there's no, coffee shops noted. I have to get rid of all that stuff, but generally, yeah. I got it.
And the good things about those parking passes is we normally hand them out, not from a booth, but handing them out at the farmer's market the Sunday before. So it would be the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. And it's great to pass it out. And you can say, come, and then put this on your dashboard when you come.
That's something we're talking about on Thursday, another final farmer's market on, say, the 27th, I think. To go out there
having a table. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Well, I got to contact what's her name again, and we've done it twice. Hopefully, they'll say, 3 times is fine. But I'm figuring that weekend there might not be a lot of people there because it's just after Thanksgiving, and maybe I don't know. Hopefully, we can get a spot and pass these things out. Hopefully, have maybe one of the banners right there on the tent as well, so they can see it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Could,
yeah.
Well, we're going to get 5 of them made. 3
let me
for the Campo, 1 for
let me show you what it looks like. That's the initial design. That's sort of what we have so far.
Nice.
And
I think that looks great.
That looks like
okay, yeah, I got them already. You sent that. You emailed me. You emailed me both tickets from different years, so I'm just going to replicate what it looks like, and then it'll basically be the tickets will be an 8 up on one piece of paper, and then another one will be an 8 up with they'll have to do that. It'll be an 8 up on 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and then another one with all the backs, and they'll just flip it and reprint. Or I'll just give them one and they'll just stack it. Not a big deal.
So is everybody okay with that banner? Can we go with that so we can get it to Pink?
Okay.
Yeah.
How many are we? This is I just did a 3x6, just like the one you very stealthily dropped off at my front door. I didn't hear you. 3 feet by 6 feet. Well,
what's in the background? Oh, I guess they look like Christmas decorations.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. It was just a picture from
or pumpkins or
no. It's actually a picture from our Facebook page from years ago.
Okay.
And all I did was just put it through a filter. Yeah. I think those are little Christmas ornaments or something. Yeah. It looks like some kind of tablecloth, maybe.
Cool.
But it looks nice.
So, Brandon, can you order 5 from Pink Printing?
5 from Pink's? Yeah.
And then Richard and I can go pick them up, in the next week, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Got it.
All right.
And what about the parking pass as well? Once I get done with the back, we just go ahead and print it. I mean, all I have to do is the Google Map back exactly the way it was before.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well, so we can give it everything to him at the same time.
Okay.
And you know the size of the parking pass?
Well, Richard said 8 of them go on to an 8.5 by 11 sheet, so I think these are
4 and 4. It's like if you fold the paper again and fold it the other way, it comes out even.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
it's 8 on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, so it's like
4 and 4.
2. It's like 2 by 5.5 or something like that. Tiny, probably not this big, but it'll be enough people to see it. They're like tickets. They're like tickets
Richard,
to a Dodger game or something.
Do you remember how many we ordered in the past of those?
1,000.
Okay.
1,000.
So Mary's here,
Oh, good.
and we have 2 musicians booked, right? Is that correct?
Actually, I have 3.
3, awesome.
The big band, the Bell Group, and the Dickens Quartet.
Great.
So, I mean, the question I had, and the last time we did it live, they had to all do this like indemnity clause. So trying to find out, do they have to do that again? And they had to provide insurance, which to me doesn't make sense because it's a city park and the city should be providing insurance, because if they're injured, they're going to be suing the city. So they want to know that, because if they're going to have to provide insurance, they say, they're going to charge more because they're going to have to pay more to get
Can we answer that question tonight?
What?
I'm asking the group if we can answer that question. Do the musicians need to bring insurance or have insurance?
I think that would be a question for Miranda.
Oh, Miranda, are you still on the call? I'll be in touch with her.
So that
I'm still here. Sorry. I've gotten up. But yes. So the question was that you're concerned about if you have to provide an insurance as the person who's having, or the group that's having the event.
No.
The performers. Previous, like the last time we did it, I think in the year before, the performers had to provide insurance. But like, if they were going to be injured, they were going to be suing the city. So it doesn't really make sense for them to be providing insurance when it should be the city of LA doing the insurance, because it's a city park, and they're going to be, if anyone's injured there, the city of LA is going to be doing that. The performers are not going to be paying the people. Right. So,
because the SCNC is paying the performers, so
yeah, I don't remember performers ever providing having to provide insurance before. I can look into that.
Who's going to ask for it, right?
Because in 2019 they had to.
Okay, so
well, I think if it comes,
if they have to,
it's not coming up in any of the funding, so I don't think, or any of the forms that we have to fill out. Abby, did your vendor had to get insurance? I saw it.
So yeah, that's my 2 cents here. That independent contractors, they have, well, my understanding, they have to have insurance, and then of course the city, or in this case parks, they do have their own insurance. But as independent contractors, they must provide some sort of insurance. So for the events that we hosted.
We don't have, but she had to get that vendor approved through the city, and I don't think we have to do that, do we?
Didn't we have an insurance form that is kind of a catch-all for all city parks? I thought we had one. That is basically a catch-all insurance waiver or form. I'll look, but I remember seeing one.
It's like,
Scott, do you remember that?
No, I don't. What did we use it for? Which event?
For the movies in the park. I thought there was one. I'll look.
Oh, okay, Brandon. Maybe that would do it, because it's not like we're submitting each of these groups to be approved by the city. You know what I mean?
No. They just need to, as contractors, as a business, because they are a business in a way. They should have insurance.
They're musicians. They don't have insurance. Yeah, I don't think
is their equipment theirs? Or are they using city's equipment?
They would be bringing their own equipment.
That's the part of the reason that they should have insurance.
Yeah, I'll ask about that because I don't remember performers using insurance.
I don't think it's required though.
Let me see.
But yeah, just checking. They probably don't even have to have insurance. But
I'll check with Kim and then Brandon, if you have like a universal form for that or something.
There's no universal form.
Well, he mentioned there was like a catch-all insurance form he used.
I remember something, but I'm looking right now. I thought it was something that we were talking about during Movies in the Park, but I'll look. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but
I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Yeah, maybe Kim might email Kim and see if she's got something, but okay. I do remember something like that. But
even if the performers don't have insurance, or even if they do, they still have to register with the city clerk,
Oh, they do.
Yeah, these groups have performed before, so they all should have their BTR codes, which in the past, they all had to have a BTR code. So they all performed in 2019.
Okay.
The big band, which would go first, like we normally do, set up chairs. I need to find out. I think they've had about 30 players in the past, and just like the folding chairs there at the Campo, we put out for them and stuff.
So 100 chairs, probably.
No, 30.
Yeah. Well, overall, we'll probably.
Oh, well, yeah, because we put other chairs out and stuff, and they bring their own music stands and stuff.
Okay. By the way, they might have their insurance through the Elks Club because they're an Elks Club, Station 99.
Well, they weren't worried as much about it as the quartet and the bell choir. Okay. They were the ones who said if they had to get insurance, they would charge at least $50 extra for getting insurance.
Yeah. Yep. $50. Yeah. Okay. So, so I'll get back to you, Mary.
Okay.
In the next couple days.
So I've got the W-9 to send to them and tell them about the invoice, and so I wanted to send everything at one time, whatever they were going to have to do.
Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. And is there any other issues
And Kim has to order the checks.
Kim has to order the what?
Checks for them.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
We also need to get the event approved by the city clerk. So that
has to get the event approved by
the event has to be approved. Then they need to invoice. After it's invoiced and approved, then
they always give us. They send us an invoice. I send the stuff out. They send us an invoice, filled out the W-9, all that kind of stuff. So
that's correct.
Because Kim is still asking for other stuff.
No, she's not. The clerk is asking for.
Oh, okay, yes, right. Part of the clerk is asking
for COVID.
Is relaying the news.
Oh, COVID.
For COVID policies.
Because what she submitted was preliminary, and it says we can't spend any money yet. So someone needs to get with Kim and make sure we're good.
Miranda, do you have COVID policies you're implementing?
That's a question.
Right now? Oh, you're on mute.
Whoops, sorry about that. We're no longer requiring masks indoor or outdoor.
Okay.
Right as of now, we are requiring proof of vaccination for being indoors.
Okay.
I'm not sure when and if that's going to change, but that was the last thing that did go out. Okay. I am part of the emergency response team, and we're having a meeting next week. And usually we get like updates as well. So maybe that could be changing, because I know a lot of the parks are having, they're still having the issue where they have to check for vaccination to be inside the building. So as far as I know, that's still a thing, but masks are no longer required.
Okay.
Yeah, because two of the groups would be performing outside, so like they wouldn't need masks, but like the handbell group would be the one, like they're usually the last hour, and then if they're inside, then I would need to ask them about proof.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully in the next, luckily it's a month away, so we'll see if any changes happen. But as of now, that is the requirement.
Okay. Yeah.
And then is there any other things like sterilizing or anything like that?
No, just the regular,
okay.
yeah, nothing's extra.
Okay.
Well, I guess question to ask one thing too. So I got the letter to Trader Joe's about trying to get free cookies. But the guy told me over the phone, and he's not the community relations manager. Some years they accept it without it, but other years they want a tax ID number, which obviously would have to be the city of Los Angeles tax ID number. So if I can get that, we'll get cookies. He said, otherwise we won't get cookies. They'll give us like $50 worth of free cookies, but we have to have a tax ID number.
Can we give him any tax ID number?
Never been able to get one in the past. I've never, even the treasurer for the SCNC never gave me one. And some years it didn't matter. It's always a different person at the one there, by the studio, the community relations person. So sometimes they had no problem.
Give them a number 3 years ago. Didn't we give them a number 3 years ago to get them?
No, see, that person didn't care. See, it depends on who the person is. Some people are like, "Oh, ain't no problem. Sure, you can have cookies," and others, I've got to have a tax ID number. And and this person said, I need a tax ID number. So
Scott,
I wonder if you could just Google City of LA tax ID number.
Totally right.
Okay, I'll see if that does me anything.
I can try to find it out, because usually, we used to always ask for donations when I was at different parks. So it was pretty much on all of our paperwork. Cool. I don't have it in my mind right now, but I can try to find out the number, and I have your name right here. So if you're like on the past email that he sent out, then I can send it to you.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Because everyone loves their chocolate star cookies and their gingerbread cookies. So
very good.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Mary.
And of course, Barry's molded cider, really good, really mold cider. Anyway, I was going to say, when it comes to the indoor-outdoor stuff, I was informed by the library they no longer have the restriction of the mask. They no longer have to eat outside. So in our event tomorrow, accept any kind of packaged food you want, and they will not have to eat it on the patio unless we.
Okay. All right.
It's fine. So, this is brand new news, and I was just told by the senior librarian.
Okay, so I have a lot of work to do to make sure that we're getting approved by everybody, and getting back to you, Mary, and communicating more with you, Miranda. And Brandon's got a little bit of tweaking to do, and then we're going to get the banners out, and I also need to round up, everybody on the board to volunteer and stuff like that. So is there any other
yeah, can we go to the task list for the Luminaria that I sent out put together about an hour ago?
Yeah, I've got it.
Already invited Alexa to do the
I think
providing the
So let's go through that one by one. Richard, are you still bringing your sound equipment and footlights?
Footlights like that. We normally use the sound equipment that we now have in MBR3.
So you're not bringing anything of your own?
Not unless I have to, and I'll know Saturday if it's missing. But as far as I know, if it works, we won't need to, because I got a hassle with the cable. Yes, I have cable and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we're going to have to get that out of MPR 9 before we load on Saturday. So you
MPR
and I
3, yeah.
That. So what about, is Madeline Kelly doing the selfie booth?
I said, yeah, I called her up. I emailed her. She said that she would, she had some transportation problems that I hope we can solve. Yeah, she'll do it.
Okay.
And she's bringing the costumes?
Whatever she has, she's going to bring.
Okay. And I've got refreshments under control. What about the parking lot signs?
This, I requested that we get 2 members or committee members or board members to bring them over and bring them back to the.
What are they?
Just the A-frames that are sitting in the office right now.
Oh, you mean our SCNC?
It's the ones that don't say it's the on them. They're regular ones that don't say it's the on them.
Oh, you mean the studio sign or ones that the neighborhood council owns?
Ones the neighborhood council owns.
So in the office, the A-frame. There's only one A-frame.
2, one white and one brown. Just bring what we have. The whole thing is just so people know where to park, which is the toe of the parking lot.
And you think they're in the office?
They are.
Because I only know of the one white one, A-frame, that's got the old logo on it.
Then we can just bring that one.
We only need one.
I don't even know what you're talking about when you say a brown one.
Well, he's saying we only need one. So can we keep moving?
One of them was supplied by Lisa Canada Davis's husband, and it never went back.
All right, I'm just putting that down. All these things, like bringing the parking lot signs, that doesn't need a name next to it. That's just, I'm putting the word Saturday because it's something we bring on Saturday. And Stacy has got things under control with the students arriving at 10 on Saturday.
Okay, cool.
But I'd be glad to make.
That was a yes, Richard?
Yeah, I told her 9, but I could change it to 10.
Okay.
All right. So we don't need generators, correct?
Okay.
We don't need lantern bulbs or strings. We just need the T lights, and we don't need the extension cords, correct?
I'd like to get some of the little miniature lights because it helps a lot to things in.
So we need some extension cords.
Some extension cords and that big tub full of green clear lights.
What kind of lights?
Green.
The little lights that plug in.
Christmas lights.
I thought we aren't using those for anything.
Yeah, we are. We had to use both last time
or something around the lot.
We're using them in the Luminaria bag?
No, just as decoration, probably.
No, they're in the bags. You know, in order to make it 4,000, more or less, got to have both.
We didn't use both last time. We only used the tea lights. The whole reason we bought the tea lights was so we didn't have to put string lights all over the place.
Or in sand.
I think we
have.
So
we're not. We have the tea lights, and that's what we're using.
Okay.
Not bringing the string lights.
Okay. No string lights.
And the sand in the baggies is already in the storeroom. They're all ready to go. That'll be a Saturday pickup.
Okay.
What about bring performer paperwork? That has Mary.
That's what we're working on.
Well, normally most of the time now they email it. I mean, they want to try to get paid as soon as possible, so they try to send the stuff early, hoping that will help speed payment.
Okay. Cool.
So you've got it under control.
Yeah.
So for the setup of chairs, that's a Saturday Harvard Westlake thing, and board members. It's not one person.
Okay.
Board members and relatives of the board members.
So the greeters on Sunday, there's only 3 entrances to the campo. I don't know why there's 4.
Okay.
There is no sides.
Okay.
There's
Makes
a Metro
sense.
side where we need someone.
Okay.
There's a West side where we need at least one person, maybe two, because that's where the people come in from the parking lot, and then the Lancashire side. So we probably need four
okay.
greeters, but two at the West side where people come in for the parking lot.
Okay. So we need board members for that, or volunteers. Yeah.
If we get some bilingual or trilingual greeters, all the better.
So Richard, who's going to operate the sound equipment?
Haven't chosen somebody yet. I'll do it by default, but I'd rather have a board member do it. I can be running around everywhere.
Okay.
Have you asked Peter Cole if he's coming? Even he's not a board member, but he might volunteer.
I'll ask him.
Anybody can ask him. Please ask him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See if he might help. You can phrase it, helping Richard with that.
Sure. Okay.
Help with refreshments. I'm going to contact like three board members or committee members. So I've got that.
Cool.
Richard, what about stage managers?
Nobody's been selected so far, and I'm listening to volunteers.
Who did?
I have not contacted anyone from stage management yet.
Okay.
As far as controlling the performers, Mary is kind of, because they're going to get paid, they want to, they'll stay pretty close to her until they get paid.
Yeah,
well, they're not going to get paid that day. So
find one other person that can deal with logistical stage issues, not the talent issues.
Okay.
Is there really a stage? Is there really a stage? It's more like under the
patio.
Yeah.
So it's raised a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So, Richard, is the Museum of the San Fernando Valley doing the coloring book pages?
They said they would. I, of course, will contact them again in a week or two. We already have the actual crayons and ink and all that kind of stuff. We just have to have stuff from them. Obviously something which is circa 1847, if we can get pictures like that.
Okay.
49ers didn't happen in 1847, not until 2 years later. So it will just be plain 1847.
And we need a board member to supervise that area too.
Because
the Museum of the San Fernando Valley may provide the pages, but they're not going to sit there and make sure there's enough crayons at each seat.
Okay.
I requested Alexa to do it if she wants to do it.
Well, I'll ask her. Yeah.
And also reading, who's going to read to the kids?
That was a secondary thing I asked her today. She's on the schedule. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How about the library booth?
I'm going to talk to and probably tomorrow.
So you're going to find out who's coming from the library?
Yeah, well, he has to approve it because he's the senior librarian.
Is that still Emily Aronson?
No, she's at Northridge now.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can find out.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to call.
3 years ago, we had an art director. Who was that? Or what did they do?
Do we need it? I don't even know what that would do. Who would?
I don't think we need an art director.
Okay.
This is from 2 years ago.
How about the politician VIP wrangler?
Normally that would be the president. That would be Scott.
Scott. Okay.
Scott, can you handle that? It's probably going to be Krikorian.
Sure, I'll wrangle him. No problem.
Thank you, Scott.
You can't
don't give him water in a plastic bottle.
Don't make it.
Just a warning.
Don't let him talk too long.
Okay.
The tea lights. Harvard Westlake students plus everyone on the board, that's an everyone deal.
It's everybody, right?
And we'll pick them up Saturday. How about supervisor of youth?
I think
that's really youth safety, member, isn't it?
I asked the new youth
that
member.
Would probably be Alexa, right?
No, I asked the
youth committee chair.
Pardon?
The youth committee chair.
The youth committee chair. Oh, that'd be good. Do we have one?
So our new
yes,
youth,
we do.
Youth
That
board
was
member.
she was voted in last month.
Yeah, I already contacted her and told her about this already.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good. So she can also coordinate on Saturday with the Harvard Westlake students. She can sort of watch out over them.
Yeah. Also,
what is her name?
I hope she'll get some members from her committee involved too.
So, order master of items. What did that person do? I think that's another thing.
Make sure the truck was loaded both ways.
Okay, we all do that. We don't need that. Maintenance of lanterns. Maintenance of lanterns and tea lights.
Replacing ones that burn out, or what?
To place
do we really need that?
Place, and nobody steps on them.
Won't everybody do that?
Yeah, that's it's kind of an everyone.
Yeah.
Also,
Abby will do it.
We also have
I don't know if I can do all of them, but I can help with quite a few. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll help too. Yeah.
I want to do that.
Do we have?
She wants to take care of the lights.
I want to take care of the lights. Yes. I'm excited about the lights.
We also have to possibly roll out the carpeting and doormats.
Brandon, will you be the MC?
I think Abby should be the MC. I think she was fantastic at movies in the park.
Okay. Well, Lana may do it.
I think Lana.
Oh, Lana might do it. Oh, good.
Great.
Oh, great.
I think Lana will be great.
Cool.
Richard, are you going to ask her?
Already did.
Brandon.
Oh, he already did.
2 or 3 weeks ago, I did.
She said, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You know, I believe 3 years ago, I think we paid her a stipend of like $200 to do it.
Oh.
We put her under the, performer category.
I don't know exactly.
Maybe she volunteered. I mean, do we have to pay her?
She volunteered, and if we pay her, we'll probably Joseph also. So it's an area somebody has to decide.
Well, I guess let's not say anything unless she asks.
Okay. No.
She volunteered. Okay, so then, what is this setup?
And Joseph should definitely volunteer because he's on the. See him, but he's on the committee.
Yeah.
So, did we have somebody actually help setting up and strike the big band last time?
All Jesse told me he needed was like have chairs set up 30, and then like they set up, they arrange them themselves and bring their stands.
Okay.
Okay.
And they take up all the parking lot.
Okay.
Big band. Okay. What about
they always want to park in the Campo lot proper.
Yeah.
A lot of them are older, so it makes it easier.
Yeah.
Well, some of them have to carry instruments too, like
some they have big instruments. So.
Well, Richard, should we get somebody assigned to helping them out?
Well, it's only for one event.
Okay.
So sure, maybe somebody could work with the stage manager to make sure it's set up properly.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll call for somebody.
What was swing utility last time?
Allie DeLaser? I don't know.
Yeah, it was last time. But 1 year I know we had Rudy Melendez do that. But I don't know if he's going to do it again.
What is it, Richard?
Okay. I'm crossing it out.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
And then we just need all hands on deck when The event,
Right.
even though we say it goes till 7, usually by 6:45, it's pretty much over.
Okay.
And I know last year from 6:45 to 7:30, we got everything packed up and loaded onto the truck and we were out of there. But it takes every last board member and anyone else we have. So
I personally locked the front gate a few minutes before 8.
All right.
And then we need probably 80% of them to come back with us to Radford to unload in the storeroom. So
okay.
We'll have to remind people of that. And then also on Saturday morning, we need to meet at the office at 9 a.m. to load the truck.
Okay.
To bring it over around 10 to where the Harvard Westlake students will be waiting. So we need at least half the board for that at between 9 and 10 on Saturday.
So they can use their new badges to help you do that.
For them to get on the lot and they should, parking won't be a problem.
Okay, cool. That will help a lot.
So that's kind of that list.
If I'm going to ask the Harvard Westlake people to come at 10, what time are they going to be done?
Well, I told Miranda 10 to 3 on Saturday.
Okay.
Because my recollection is by 3 o'clock, we've usually pretty much been done. And the one thing in 2019 that hampered us is we didn't put the Luminaria bags out on Saturday because of the threat of rain. But the good thing is if there's no threat, we can put all the bags out with their sand weight, and then all we have to do is put the tea lights in on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay.
And Scott, what time are you going to become the hero and deliver and bring the pizza?
What time? What?
What time are you going to provide the pizza at?
How about we have it delivered at 12:30?
Oh, right. Okay, on Saturday.
Just make a decision. I don't care which one it is.
He said 12:30.
12:30, I think.
Cool.
Let's do 12:30. If you do it too soon, they think that's their reward and they're done.
Okay.
And
sounds
good. And we'll buy enough water and stuff to make it so that we don't have to buy any soft drinks, right?
Well, we've got a few left in the office that we probably can bring too. Some Coke and Diet Coke. So.
Oh, okay.
Got a really quick question. I found the letter. I found the letter I was talking about, but I don't think it applies to Campo. Okay. It was actually delivered from Scott on July 21st. It was regarding it was from Lorenzo regarding Radford.
Okay.
So here it is right here. Again, I don't think it's what I thought it was. I think it only applies to us. It doesn't apply to the musicians.
That covered us for our Radford office.
That's what I figured as much. Yeah, okay. But it wouldn't cover us if we were at Campo, right? If we tripped and fell, would the city cover it?
After we left, after someone tripped and fell, sure.
No. If we're at Campo for Luminaria and one of us trips and falls.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
The thing is, you have to be a paid employee to be covered by workman's comp.
I don't know. That Lorenzo sent this to Scott. I have no clue.
Board members are not employees of the city of LA.
Again, Lorenzo sent this to Scott regarding Radford, and that's what I remembered. I don't know.
If Kim gets the event approved, I think the event is approved, and we just go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just a reference, it was July 21st of this year you sent it. So if you want to, you have the copy, he sent it to you. So I don't know if that means a difference. I don't know if that's something we need, but
we didn't need insurance like at the farmer's market or
I don't think we didn't. We did not.
Park. So I think
it's only if we're not on city property, if we're like at Radford or we're like at some place that's not city property, maybe they would want to see that. But
and you don't need it at the farmer's market because the farmer's market has its own insurance.
Mm-hmm. And it's also city property. So
okay, well let's continue this through email and communication, and we'll have a great event. I'm sure we will. So we have any other like really important things we need to say about Luminaria right now?
I'd just like to have as many board members as possible, particularly ones who want to be reelected, be there, do the meet and greet, do all the kind of stuff so they get themselves reelected.
Okay. I'll be sure to mention that.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that, guys. It's not time to talk about it.
We need workers.
No, don't want to violate anything, guys.
It's not as many as possible. It's just the simple word all. A-L-L. All.
Yeah.
It's not as many as possible. It's all 16.
Yep, it's everybody. That's right.
And Scott, I'll get with you regarding the truck from the studio.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 5. I think we have.
Abby's got her hands up.
Oh, go ahead, Abby.
Waiting very patiently. Thank you so much, Mary. So my little 2 cents regarding the pizza is that I don't know what pizza place you're using, Karen, but my 2 cents, it's that for the summer event, I used Pizza Hut in North Hollywood. They were super duper flexible, and the store manager was on top of things. What I did, because Brandon also helped me and Scott on this, that I was going to be out of town over that weekend. So what I did is that I ordered the pizza. So they were very flexible. I worked on the deals with him over the phone. He took the order. And then I believe the logistics were that when Scott and Richard, I'm not sure how the pizza was going to get paid, but he could take the payment over the phone with the credit card or in person when picking it up. But I did tell him exactly at what time Scott was going to pick up the pizza. So they were going to make the pizza fresh and it will be done on time by the pickup time. So apparently that worked. I mean, from the feedback that I got from Brandon and Scott, that worked great. Second is that Barry, I would be more than happy to help you with the task, the list. I think it's an amazing list, a very well-rounded logistics. So I am more than happy to help with that, cleaning it up and sending it to the board members. I'm happy to put it on an Excel, Google Docs. So hopefully it will be easier for the board members just to log in their name. If not, it's something that we can actually bring up at the next board meeting. But please send me that list if you would like. I am more than happy to help you out with that, and to help all of us out with that.
Actually, Abby, Scott's already got a list on Google Drive, and yeah.
I'm speaking about the list that Barry has created, the one that he shared.
For the tasks, not what.
Yeah, and Karen's Google list is very different than Scott's Google list.
Right.
Mine's probably even different from that.
So I think, Barry, I would like to speak with you to make sure which list we're following.
Well, it should just be one list. So
it should be only one list.
So
yeah.
Why don't we go with Scott?
And just
I would probably
it looks like he already has most of it set up.
List, but we should have one. That is my 2 cents. So everyone is on board with which one to be filling in on their own. But Barry has a really logistic list that he's been working on for many years, along with Richard and Mary. It has worked for 9-10 years. So I think we should follow that model.
Remember that all board members have to put in 10 hours other than committee meeting and board meetings.
So my 2 cents, the board is very familiar with Google Docs. They all log in, they all use it. I can add, when Barry revises the task list, I can then add it to the list for what we're doing as far as our tasks, which I just updated just now. As far as the pizza, Abby's absolutely right. Pizza Hut, it was a dream. I showed up, it was ready, loaded it in the car, took it to the park. They gave me a receipt. They printed another receipt because we needed a second receipt. And I think it would be fine to use them again. I'll go pick it up at 12:15. and deliver it to Campo at 12:30. We just need someone with the credit card to order it, and whatever the specifics you want, however many pepperonis, cheese, veggies, whatever that works. But I think Abby's absolutely right that if we're going to try to get the board to get involved, give them something that they're familiar with as far as accessing, which is Google Docs.
And I'm offering my help, Barry. I would like to unload some work from you. So if you have your Scrabbles, just take a picture, scan them, and send them to me, and we're more than happy to type them for you, and then maybe forward them to Scott, or maybe Scott and I can work it out. But we want to make this is a huge event, and I really applaud you, Barry, and Richard for all the work, and Mary for all the work that you have done throughout the whole year, throughout all these years. So I just making it as easy as possible for you guys as well.
Yeah, and Scott's list has some other things other than the day before tasks, so that's good. And I was just curious, Scott, do we know when Kim's going to get approval?
As soon as the paperwork is ready.
We're working.
No, an email yet. I'm sorry, go
very
ahead.
minor, like the food permit. And that can be easily done by just calling the North Hollywood Pizza Hut. He was very flexible. The manager is very flexible, so you can email it really quick. And I forgot what else, but Karen said that she will follow up with it in a timely manner. So
just tell me when to pay, we'll do it.
Mm-hmm. The day that the Pizza Hut, that the pizza's picked up.
Also, I just thought about something. We're going to need one person to kind of help out Madeline.
Okay,
or stuff
I'll
doesn't
ask
get ripped
for
off.
that.
So stuff doesn't get ripped off.
Okay. We need another volunteer with Madeline. Okay.
I just added that to the list, a helper for her.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Abby. That's great. Did you want to move on to number 5? Is everybody good?
Is that my item? Sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to turn off my camera because I think my presentation will work better like this. Let me know if it's moving. You know, technology is wonderful, but when one button doesn't work. Are you able to see my present? No, you're not, because I'm not sharing. I just realized that. 1 second. Right here. Okay, you're able to see my screen right now, right? Are you able to see it now still?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to present the 2023 Spring and Summer Movies in the Park proposal and brief logistics, as both events are still in the early stages of development. We are partnering with Beeman Park and the Office of Councilmember Nithya Raman. Are you able to see slide number 2, which is the green slide? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the spring event, the date is on Saturday, April 8th, 2023. That is the spring break when children or LAUSD is off. And usually Beeman Park has an event on Wednesdays. They are very flexible, Adam and Stephanie. So what they're doing is that they're moving the movies in the park on Saturday. So we're hoping that by moving it to a Saturday, we have more turnout in both, one, for families or stakeholders, families, and 2, also board members and committee members and volunteers as well.
Is Easter on the 9th?
Easter, yes, I believe so.
I think that could present a problem. And we should also know when Passover is. I like Saturday, but I don't like the day before Easter.
Let me check. It is Easter. So I mean, we could still change it. What do you think? So, should we do it then it will be on a Wednesday the 5th, or on a Saturday?
Well, then it's during vacation. You know, you could also do it on the 1st, which is the first day of their vacation.
It is the dates are the 5th or the 8th.
What does anyone else think about being the the night before Easter.
So here's also what we discussed.
Easter movie.
Yeah, this is also what we discussed. That maybe families, there was a quite a bit back and forth exchanges on this date. Should we do it on the 1st? Well, maybe families are going out of town, taking the opportunity or advantage that vacation is starting, and families may be leaving on, I don't know, April 30th, maybe 31st, but are gone the first weekend of their vacation time. Once they're coming back, because children, students, they have to go back to school on the 10th, they're already back. So it would be on the 5th or the 8th. What do you think would be the best day?
I guess maybe the 8th. We'd probably still get more people than we would on a Wednesday.
Brandon raised his hand.
Brandon.
Yeah, regarding Saturday, June 3rd, that would only be like 19 days before the election. And I know Jocelyn already emailed Scott and I regarding
let's close Brandon.
Okay, let's talk about, we're talking about April 1st.
Close the April 8th.
First. Okay.
Yeah, April 8th. So do you prefer the 5th or the 8th?
I think the 8th.
Okay. What about everybody else?
For no other reason, it'll be warmer a week later.
I think more people will come on a Saturday than a Wednesday night.
Because the day will be on the 5th. It's either the 5th or the 8th. So Mary, what do you think?
I think more people will come on a Saturday than a Wednesday.
Okay. Is that the 8th?
Yeah, so the 8th would be.
Okay, Karen.
I don't want to interfere with Barry's meetings.
I'm fine with that. I don't really have a preference.
Okay, Richard, 5 or 8?
Saturday, because Wednesday Barry has 2 meetings.
Okay. Brandon, 5 or 8?
I'm okay with the 8th. I think a lot of people are going to stay home. I never seen Easter as a big travel holiday, so I think it'll be okay. The 8th is fine.
Scott.
I agree. Saturday the 8th.
Okay. All right. So then we have, so we're sticking with Saturday, April 8th, 2023. We do not have a movie yet. Well, let me talk about it later about the movies. Summer event.
Hold on, please. Can
yes.
we make this in the form of a motion? We had a problem because loco in the way of a motion. So let's make it in the way of a motion.
The motion will come later. We're going to have there's 2 events in one motion.
Okay.
Thank you, Richard. Now the summer event, Saturday, June 3rd. Again, this is pencil. It's nothing. It's in set on stone yet. Brainstorming, June 3rd. Now, Brandon, you had a comment about it.
Our elections are on June 22nd. Like I said, Jocelyn, I think Alvarado, I think her last name is already emailed Scott and I today. She's with the city clerk's office coordinating NC elections. We would have to ask her is if we have a summer event just less than 3 weeks away from the election, if it would be using city funds to campaign, because this would be an SCNC sponsored event. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I'm sure MCs don't put everything on hold just for the election, but I'd like to double check. I'm sorry, what was that?
They don't put anything on hold to the election.
Okay, but it'd be nice just to check with them and make sure this would not be considered campaigning, because you'd have a bunch of stakeholders there in one spot. I would love to hear what she has to say regarding us being very careful.
Okay, Brandon, you do bring up a valid point. Who should I ask?
We could tentatively have it for June 3rd until we can contact Jocelyn and ask if it's okay. I'm pretty sure it will be.
Okay.
So I just wanted to bring it forward just as a point of information on that.
And I like your thinking. Now, this is also what what I thought behind the scenes is that well, according to my little research, is that we are able to do something on June 3rd that will give sufficient time for Kim, the treasurer, to close the books by the 17th, no later than the 17th, but it should ideally should be closed by the 10th. We'll see. And because our term ends into June 30th. That is my.
As long as we don't show Manchurian Candidate.
I'm sorry, Richard. I couldn't hear you because you were
something like Manchurian Candidate or something. I think we will.
Okay, well, and your term really doesn't end until the first board meeting after the election is certified, which would be the July board meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then we have plenty of time. Why wouldn't we have a June 30 event, summer and movies in the park? But I can check. I like Brandon's thinking, so I'm going to pick up from his brain and I'll follow up with Joycelyn. Yeah. Well, Brandon, would you send me the contact info so I may follow up?
Certainly.
Just a point of information, we did a Juneteenth meeting in 2021 just before the election, and there was no problem with that. It really had nothing, our event had nothing to do with the election. I mean, as long as we weren't electioneering is really.
As long as you're not passing out flyers saying vote for me, I think you're fine.
It was just an event.
Kissing babies.
It was just an event. We're
not blacked out from events.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Just an abundance of caution. I'm just bringing it up. But Scott's right. I think we'll be fine on this.
All right. So then I can work with Scott and Brandon on this just to be triple sure that we're not going to be in hot water for this. Great.
Well, I don't even think there would be anything illegal with any candidate, be it a current board member or not, distributing flyers at an event like that. It's a public event. There's nothing illegal about that.
Yeah, but if we're using city funds for the event, we would be using city resources to campaign, which we cannot do.
Well, you would not stand under our canopy and do it, but if you're just roaming around the people, there'd be nothing illegal.
Maybe, but again, I'm not an expert on this. Jocelyn is. We'd ask her, but I don't think there's going to be a problem. I really don't think there's going to be a problem.
Well, she's the city clerk, so we're not under her guidance anyway. We're under bonk and done as far as what we are allowed to do. She's just managing the election. So we're fine. We just go ahead and do our event on June 3rd. Just don't do anything stupid at the event.
Okay, act right, and that's it.
Which is my ruling.
Okay, so
just remember, we have to pay for anything we have to pay for well in advance before the cutoff date.
Well, we're doing the motion this month in November, and this is one of the reasons. So in December, we don't have any motions. And in January, people are coming back from vacation. Everybody, their minds are still on, or at least mine is still going to be on holiday mode. So we're going to get, at least my mind is going to get good, get going into February. And I don't want to be rushing for these two events. I don't need to add additional stress into my life. So I'd rather start pre-planning now and work slowly and surely, and doing things the right way, as Brandon has suggested with Scott, and as well Barry's suggestion. In terms of, let's moving on to the movies. We don't have a movie because we just had this conversation this month. Was it this month or last? No, we're in November. Last month, we just had just a few weeks. So we just had this conversation a few weeks, so we don't have a movie. And Beeman Park is going to be this last quarter of the year. Beeman Park is going to be reaching out to their sponsors. I don't know how they're going to select their sponsors, but this is Beeman Park who is providing the movie through sponsorships. I'm hoping that by February we would have at least the spring movie. Ideally will be the summer, but we'll see.
I have an idea for the April movie. How about E.T.?
E.T., that would be great. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was like 5 years old.
That's a good idea.
And I cried. Yeah. Excellent. I love it. This is for which one? I'm sorry. Summer or spring?
Oh, spring. I was thinking the April one.
Okay. Is everyone in the committee agree with Barry's suggestion?
Well,
Brandon,
see if you can get it from Universal.
I'll have to bring it up to Beeman Park. They are the ones that handling this area. Thank you, Barry. That's a great suggestion. Karen, are you okay with ET? Yes, no. Okay, I think you said yes, you're muted. Scott, yes, no.
How could somebody say no to ET?
Right. That's
of course, yes.
Love the music. Great music.
I love it. That's gonna bring me back to the 80s. I'm an 80s kid. So okay, and then moving along to the budget, I think. Yeah. So this is the budget, and of course we have a lot of cushion here. We never spend 2,500 in any movies in the park. Usually we have spent about maybe 15 to tops, I want to say 1,800. So we have a lot of cushion here, but it's always better to be safe than sorry, or like regret, like why didn't we add something? So Richard and Barry, you've always done a great job with soft drinks and delicious snacks. So you have a budget of 500. Well, if you are able to do the shopping again, that will be greatly appreciated. If not, we still have a budget of 500. Swags, we don't have any swags, but some pens and beach balls, which are great or a huge success. So I would really like to add some swags for the spring event. Also, maybe adding some money for a budget for the banners and multimedia budgets, etc. And of course, Beeman Park, it's the main expense here, which is for the staff members for 6 hours to help out. Coming up with about, total 2,500. But again, this is just giving us a lot of wiggle room here. It's never in the past, if you all know the numbers, we have never spent 2,500. It's always been around 14 to 1,600. The same.
And we will need 2 more banners because one got stolen from the park.
I know. They really like your banners, Brandon. Great.
What's that?
Can we modify the?
I am the new Banksy.
See, Brandon, your creativity is being stolen. Someone just think about someone have that banner in their living room.
Some gallery over at Bergamot Station selling my banners for $1 million right now.
See, your creativity is famous now. It's in someone's wall. So we have some budget for that. You guys are great at designing, Brandon, and the budget is there. So for the summer is very similar, and we'll probably need a lot less because we'll probably have some leftovers. But again, I just want to make it equal. So the summer doesn't get jealous of the spring, and or vice versa. So not to exceed 2,500, but again, as you know the numbers, it's usually about 14 to 1,600.
Do you know if is Nithya going to get food again?
Yes, that's my next slide. Richard, you have a comment?
Yeah, maybe 666 is not the right miscellaneous expense. People are superstitious.
Miscellaneous expenses? You don't want me to put in miscellaneous?
No, Richard stole my thunder. I was about to say the same thing. 666, probably not a good idea. You're saying maybe you make 685 for staff members and 665 for miscellaneous expenses, so nobody freaks out thinking we're devil worshippers or anything like that.
Especially for
with me.
There you go. Well, I'll play with the numbers here. Okay, I'll make them. Okay. All right. I'll change the numbers. Awesome. Okay, you're still able to see my slides, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this is, we are gonna get to your comment. Barry, just hang with me for 1 minute, please. So for the swags, I was thinking, and I'm open, I just needed to put something for the sake of the presentation, but of course, this is not the swags for me, this is for our stakeholders and for all of us. So I don't know, what about frisbees? And I got this idea from Brandon. well, you didn't tell me about it, but you said in some event, oh, I'm gonna bring my frisbee. And I said, you know what? Maybe some frisbees. So see, I pay attention to what you all say. So maybe some frisbees, I don't know. They do have a sample. So keep in mind that if you want a sample, if you want to see how it would look like, it will be 47 cents. How would that work? And how would that work? And to bring it up into a motion for 47 cents, I have no idea. But this is I mean, we can actually order about 350 frisbees for about $300 or so, maybe.
Abby, can you move to the next slide? I think the next slide is the frisbees. We're still on the spring and summer.
You're still on okay, hang on.
There it is. There it is.
Okay. Hang on there. Are you able to see it now?
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it right there.
Okay, so here. So the sample, it does cost about 47 cents. I do not know if there are some hidden fees, but if you want a sample, Brandon, you have a credit card. Richard, you have a credit card. How would that work on a motion? I have no idea right now.
There actually are some hidden fees that I realized. I should have known in advance that they do the things. When you order t-shirts, you order for the shirt. You also order for the screen printing, the setup and the screen printing. When we ordered it last time, there's actually an additional charge for the screen printing on the item. That's just the cost of the item, the actual frisbee, but they don't tell you how much it costs. So next time when we contact them, we'll say, okay, we want the complete cost, the estimate, including printing, shipping, and everything.
Yeah.
They kind of hid that cost from us.
Yeah, this is the reason why I put 350, because I know there are some hidden fees. Just to prepare for that, because we learned the hard way last time, and it was again, I'm not trying to make this a stressful. It should be FUN rather than stressful. All right, so this is one idea. Another idea, it's maybe a tote, and I got this idea from when we went to that event, National Night Out, Brandon and Scott, and we saw that there were some totes, little totes. I couldn't find any little tote, so all I was able to find were big ones, but I'm sure we would have, because this event is not into the spring, we would still have time to look for maybe little totes. But this is the idea, kind of like what the other North Hollywood neighborhood council had, the little totes to put little, little goodies at other events. So
Abby, can I add something?
Yeah.
I think Karen cleaned up. I think it was Karen. No, maybe it was Julia who did. The public library had some good stuff over there. Yes. The LA Public Library, they had these little notebooks.
Yes.
It was crazy. They had the best stuff over there. I think Julie just cleaned up. She just grabbed a bunch of stuff and
put it in a goodie bag, and we had no goodie bags.
Yeah, it's probably too much for us. I think Richard keeps saying it can't be over like $2.50, $3 per unit. I think something like that. $4, $5 per unit.
They'd rather see one.
They'd rather see one. But what's the red zone? Like 3 or 4 per unit?
Well, this one will be 182.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we can, and this is a big tote. Maybe, maybe we can find little totes. Maybe they'll be less expensive.
Because we used to have totes. They're kind of like a burlappy material, and it says to you, St. Neighborhood Council on the side.
I think it will be cute for a little tote, for little goodies for other events, not just the spring and summer. I'm sure we're gonna have a movie, a national night out, or maybe when you go to the farmers market, do your shopping, and maybe the stakeholders can think of us when they're doing their grocery shopping.
And they're only $1.58 if we get 250 of them.
Yes. So. And we can play around with the budget. I can play around with the budget. If you guys like this idea, and again, I'm just bringing up ideas. It's not set in stone, but I do want to hear from you guys. What do you think about totes and frisbees?
I like use bags.
What is it?
People can always use bags.
Yes, and now there's no, like, we have to pay for 10 cents for a plastic bag. I always keep all these bags in my car.
We have a Frisbee at the office and it has a note on it and it says, this is a dog water bowl, not a Frisbee, because apparently someone was going to get hit in the head.
Yeah, well, I can talk about that.
I'll take a picture of it next time I go there.
Is we had, and we got in trouble because there was a bus on the parade down Ventura, basically, and we were on top of the bus, somebody threw it off and hit somebody, and we got into a lot of trouble because of the Frisbee. Therefore, I marked that one to be a dog dish rather than a Frisbee, so nobody would accuse us of anything.
Well, it could have double use, but
just saying, I don't want to publicize we have Frisbees because we got in trouble before, and they haven't forgotten.
Well, we can call it a flying disc, or you want to call it a dog bowl?
You can call it anything you want. I just don't want to have hassles again like you had before.
We'll be fine, I'm sure. Okay, so moving on. I think this will be okay with you guys. Thumbs up if you guys think it's a good idea. Sad face if you think it's not a good idea, but I do need to hear from you because I don't know what mute, silence, or serious means.
I like the bag idea.
I like the bag also, yeah.
Okay. I think Mary said she likes the bag.
Yeah, I said I like the bags, yes.
Okay, all right, so the bag is a good go. So what else should we have instead of a Frisbee? What about the Frisbee? Yes, no, or I need ideas because I cannot come up with all the ideas.
I would only say probably, I'm just piggybacking on Richard, Frisbees do present a risk of injury. Some kid might just chuck it at someone and hit someone and break some teeth, but there's foam boomerangs made of nice soft foam. I think Richard won't like boomerangs either.
Oh yeah, I saw them. I just never played with one of those.
Something safe. I mean, think of a bunch of kids in a park and they've got 30 Frisbees. It's a disaster waiting to happen, actually. We'd all have to wear our football helmets, but it'd be fun. But
but the city attorney was not happy when we got sued.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
All right, well then send me some other ideas because again, I can't think of all this by myself. I know
it'll be summertime. It's coming up to summer. Remember, I think North Hollywood, was it Northwest? They had those fold out fans. It folds up and then it folds out and it's a fan.
Yeah.
I thought those were fantastic. This would be April, so we're about to hit the summer months. I think that'd be awesome.
Oh, little fans.
And paper, if it could all be paper, that'd be great.
I think I've seen those fans with paper, and it can have the logo. And it is hot. Okay.
Let me see if I've got it right here.
Send me the link. All right. So also this event, we are going to need the lovely support of outreach. And Brandon, you've always done a magnificent job with your creativity, so much that people steal your banners.
Well, it's nice somebody thinks I'm a pretty good graphic designer. Some people don't. But I'd rather take your opinion over others. So thank you very much.
So we're going to be collaborating. I don't know if you knew this, Brandon, but we're going to be collaborating with you and your committee in terms of the Studio City Neighborhood Council QR, the signing sheets. We have pens, creating flyers, and designing banners. So you're going to be pretty busy for those two events.
Okay.
And
no
you're
problem.
looking forward to it? Yeah. Awesome. Awesome sauce. All right, so Beeman Park, they're going to be collaborating with the movies. They're going to be looking for the sponsors I've mentioned. They bought the equipment, projector, screen sound, and microphone. They have it. They bought it. They are not going to be borrowing it from anybody else. They just have it for us to utilize. So which is good. Of course, they're going to be supporting us with canopies if we need them, and the chairs. And the Office of Council Member Nithya Roman will be partnering with Studio City Neighborhood Council, and her office will be providing hamburgers and hot dogs for stakeholders. Beeman Park staff will be grilling the meat. The way that
with our luck, or maybe it is luck, we may be redistricted out of CD4, but that probably won't happen before June.
Well, so far, if everything we stay under CD4, we're getting hamburgers, and the Office of Council Member Nithya Rahman will be providing hamburgers and hot dogs, and the Beeman Park will be grilling them. Any questions, comments, concerns, objections, complaints?
Can I suggest a separate? Can I suggest a separate grill just for like vegetables and stuff for people who don't eat meat? I love meat personally, but some people might say, "Well, where's the vegetarian fare?" So, if you had like a grill with just like vegetables, like zucchini and stuff, I think that'd be really nice.
Or Beyond Meat for hot dogs or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That part is Beeman Park, so I could ask if they have 2 grills. I don't know, and if they don't have them, it would just be one grill. So Brandon, I think I need your help with this motion because I just did it the best I could here.
Something else.
You realize the president of the neighborhood council is here, and he supersedes me, so you might want to ask Scott. I would love to, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to step on his toes there. I'll help.
No problem stepping on.
Okay. I second the motion.
Hold on, it hasn't been read. It hasn't been read yet.
I think I wanted it pre-read before I read it, and so does it look okay, Scott? Before I read it,
it's fine to me. I mean,
all right.
I think of the target audience when it goes to the board and the questions we're going to get there, but this totally makes sense.
Okay, so here it goes. So movies in the park motion. The board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council, SCNC, approves the budget for movies in the park. A, spring event on Saturday, April 8th, 2023, not to exceed 2,500. And summer event on Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, not to exceed 2,500. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Okay. Richard, thank you.
Did we change it to the 8th or no?
We didn't change it. It's 8th, it's a Saturday, and we all agree, you all agree. Well, I'm saying
question, Scott might know this. I don't. In terms of the city clerk, it has if it's set on April 8th or June 3rd and we have to change the date, does that require a brand new motion?
No, it's just
it does not.
No, I don't think so.
No,
we're allocating the money in the budget, and that's the most important thing. Go ahead, Abby. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Yeah, that's what we went through with the summer and movies in the park in September, that it was moved because of Mother Nature.
Right. Okay.
We didn't have to have another motion. I just worked it out with Kim, and I just filled out I just made some changes to the paperwork, just the date. That was all. Just change the date and send it to Kim, and Kim sent it to Marielle, and Marielle approved it. And along with the flyer, and Brandon was also part of this. Brandon changed the flyer and the QR. Yeah, there were actually some logistics.
Okay.
No motion.
I don't see why any board member wouldn't support this motion, since all the movies we've done this year have been successes. Even though the first one in the spring, we didn't have a huge turnout, but relatively speaking, and particularly the last one, which is most recent in their minds, have been highly successful.
And thank you, Barry. And for the very first one, let's consider that we were just barely coming back from the pandemic.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders, families, maybe they were not so apt for mix and mingling with other humans just yet. So we did our best. We did what we could. And I think it was, for just coming back from the pandemic, I think we all did great. I think the board and the committee did great, and volunteers. with that. So Karen, do you want to, I don't have my list with me. Do you want to take a vote?
Yeah, is everybody done discussing the motion?
I think we're discussing, so we just need to, we have a second from Richard.
Right.
And now if you can please go over the voting, then that would be great.
We would have to ask if there's any public comment.
Oh,
I don't think there's no public.
I don't know if there's anybody.
There's no public.
In the public. I just wanted to say what's really important and what's really good that we're doing, because this is April and in June, it's the end of our fiscal year when this happens, and to allocate the money now sort of locks it in, because there's going to be probably some beautification, neighborhood purpose grants and such, and election spending. So if we approve this now, that money is locked in and guaranteed. If something has to shift, that's fine, but we have $5,000 allocated from our budget to.
Did we get our 10 grand back? Have we gotten our 10 grand? It was already approved, correct?
We don't
the carryover,
but we don't physically have it yet, at least not last week, but we have a confirmation that it's coming and we can spend it.
Good.
Barry, you have your hand up.
So I think
I'm just thumbs up. I'm voting yes.
Oh, okay.
So before we move, before Karen takes the voting, do we have any public comment for the spring event, or for this motion for the spring event, movies in the park, or summer event, movies in the park?
We don't. There's no public, so.
Okay. So we don't hear anyone from the public. We can move on to voting. Please, Karen, would you make the honors?
So we're voting on the motion that Abby read,
we're voting on motion movies in the park to approve the spring event and summer event.
Those
23.
Okay, Brandon, yes or
yes.
No? Yes. Okay. Richard?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Scott?
Aye.
Abby?
Yes.
And Barry?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm yes. Okay. Unanimous.
Can I add something, please?
Oh, Richard, go ahead. Sure.
You
want to comment?
Universal gave us free movies, so including the discs. We gave the disc to the library. What I'm saying is, if the Universal and permission to show it, it'd be a great idea.
You keep going in and out, Richard. I don't know what your problem is, but
the microphone isn't consistent, Richard.
I'm using a Sennheiser microphone. Sorry about that. Okay, Universal gave us a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, actually. They gave us the disc and permission to show a Universal movie. They also provided swag in a little booth while they were at it. Same thing again. Here's a movie, give us the disc that we can give over to the library. Have their booth. It's really a nice booth. And we also had Minion people too.
Universal gave us Minion people. Nice.
Yes, they did.
So, okay. So I think.
And John's photo booth too.
Abby, did you have any comment about that?
I don't have any comment,
okay,
because we are not responsible for getting a sponsor. This is Beaman Park, and I don't know if Beaman Park is going to be, who their sponsors are going to be. If they're going to be reaching out directly to Universal Studios, if they are going to be getting a sponsor and they're just going to pay for the licensing. I don't know. This is if one of the one member for the committee was to commit to say, I will call Universal Studios and work directly with them, then that will be great. But in this case, Beaman Park is working on the sponsorship.
Wonderful.
I cannot commit on them. I could just bring it up to Beaman Park and said, hey, who are you going to be? Are you,
and that
are you
they did this right.
I don't know who their partners are. Maybe they already have a list, and but I should bring
Cool.
it up to them, but it's really up to Beaman Park. So does this motion passes, Karen, with everyone voting?
It did.
Okay, so motion passes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So
in case they're successful and we
still can't hear you, Richard.
If we are successful and they give us a DVD.
Maybe that's for the best.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, we're moving on to number 6, and I don't know if it's possible to do this, but I would like to make a motion to approve Coco Movie Night at the Studio City Library in perpetuity.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna work. Scott?
I don't think a board can approve something forever. They only sort of approve board by board.
Okay.
Okay.
It's on our calendar. Brandon boosted it. Richard
Thank you,
Brandon. The library told everybody.
Wonderful.
I think we did all we could for this year. And thanks everybody for pushing it. And
we'll be sure to
this on our agenda. Maybe we'll get it approved in June of 2023.
Great. Okay.
Depending on who the board is.
So are there any more comments by committee members? Number 8.
Karen, just give me the motion that was just passed and I'll get it for the agenda for the next meeting is going to be a real might be a real
long one or
barn burner.
Okay.
Might be something on there that might take 2 hours. So
okay.
We might get it all done in one night. We'll see.
All right.
Just get it to me because I start the agendas immediately after the board meeting is over. I start for the next month. So
okay. I'll do the minutes.
Get me the motion.
And the minutes.
As high up on the list as possible.
Okay. I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
If we're not meeting in December, in January, but maybe we'll be meeting January inside Bedford. Who knows?
Oh, cool. That'd be awesome.
Abby, I'll send you something like you asked for the list of things to be done for the Luminaria. I'll email you something. It probably won't be till my next day off on Friday.
That's fine. When I get it, then I'll put it on my calendar and I'll work on it as quickly as possible. So hopefully the board will be able to log into Google Docs and make it in a way convenient for them, but we would also be able to let them know during the board meeting.
And they can bring their relatives too to help out.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. We'll be in touch. Bye. Bye.